everyone, hope you're all well. It's been a while since I've done a video, so I just thought I'd jump on the charts and do basically a new video for the YouTube, as I've not done one for quite a bit now. I've just been mainly doing trades on Instagram and leaving it on the account there, but I'm going to jump back on the YouTube, especially due to the isolation and things like that. So I have got more time on my hands. I've been working on other, smaller projects, and it's just taking up time. So I have not really, well, I've not at all used YouTube. But yeah, so let's get started then, really. I hope everyone's been well. I hope you all, had successful trading over the last couple of months. Like I say, I've been quiet myself, just doing my own thing. Been, hit and miss last couple of weeks. Two very good weeks prior to last week. And last week, a bit of stupid habits, but, that's what happens in trading. It's never all the way up. It's always ups and downs. But yeah, making progress, that's the main thing. So yeah, I just want to kind of go over a trade that I've been monitoring last week. This is kind of the trade I was waiting for all last week and it still didn't come. So I'm going to start with AUDUSD, and you should be able to see it here now on my screen. So basically, I just want to go over my bias on this pair. I still feeling like there's a short coming, but I've kind of now changed my long-term bias. As you can see here right now, I did have, quite a big swing short-term, short bias. But I've now kind of changed my tune. I'm going to go over why. So if we just look at what I've been saying over the last week, obviously I've been calling the short, but it's taken some time. So you can see it kind of risen from these areas there all the way up to the 78 now. So what I'm going to do, so halfway between the 61 and 78. So I'm just going to click on the latest one I've done, and I'll just basically, read out what I put. So I did put AUDUSD carried its surge off the last post with an extra 150 pip gain. We now feel like the bulls have run out of steam and are sitting nicely between the 61.8 and the 78.6 fib retracement levels. We are also starting to see a bearish head and shoulders pattern on the form on the 1 hour time frame, giving us confluences to take a short. I would personally like to see this pair come down furthermore, form a right shoulder and short from those highs with price action confirmation. We've been waiting for this short for over a week now. We may finally be getting that next impulse down. Hopefully we can surge through the 1 hour ascending trend line and then onto the 4 hour and hopefully crush that down to the longer term 38.2 fib level. So basically that's my explanation for what I've seen for the shorts. So obviously I'll just show you how it's played out so far. So it's currently gone like that. I'm not in any trade, as I say. I was awaiting price action confirmation to make a right shoulder, and then I'd look at taking a trade. So that hasn't just played out. But I'm just going to jump onto it now. So the reason I've changed my bias, so I'm just going to jump onto the daily. As I say, always start on the daily. As you can see, we are in a huge downtrend. And to be honest, I've started using an EMA. I've been doing some research on it and back testing it a little bit, and it is quite good to use one. So I've got 100 EMA and a 200 moving average. So basically, the 200 moving average is to tell me what determine what trend we're in on the daily, and we are still in a downtrend. Also, the 100 EMA is the same. It's covering us, showing that we're in a downtrend. So I just want to go over it now slightly and tell you why I've changed my bias. So obviously, we all know about structured price with lower lows, lower highs, higher lows, higher highs. So we had a situation here. So I'm just going to kind of show you in detail. So we still, if we just go back onto that, sorry, one moment, just adjust the setup. So yeah, if we just go back onto there, so right at the top there, we've got a lower high. Oops. So I just enter that there. So that's a lower high. And then if I just copy it and clone that all the way down, we've got the lower low down here, which is actually, I've changed it to a, I'll explain why, lower low. Then up here also, so I just do a lower high. Clone that again, sorry. So we were still in nice structure up until this point. So we came down lower high, lower low, making another lower high. And then what happened was, as we started to come lower, obviously we needed this basically, this is a correction. We needed the next impulse to at least come below the lower low. to confirm the bias on the daily that the downtrend is still in play. But the fact that we've now eclipsed this low high, this is the reason why I've kind of changed my bias on it. I've just looked at it now and I thought, if anything, this trip, you know, my bias on this is it is going to short. I still feel like for this week, there's only a short bias. And there's, you know, say 100 to 200 pips up for gain if we come down to touch that 6200 area, which I'll go over again in a moment. So I'm just going to, obviously, I'm just going to get rid of all these. We don't need that now. Don't need the lower high. Get rid of the lower right. So if I just go over these now, so I've now started a new trend. So we've got higher low, higher high, higher low. We've done the next impulse move. I'm expecting a correction. So if I just drop down onto the 4 hour. And as you can see on the 4 hour, we've now come above the moving averages on the 4 hour. I know obviously it's, you know, not as significant as that, but also on the 12 hour EMA, on the 12 hour 100 EMA, we've closed above it, and also we're starting to see it turn. Obviously, I'm expecting a pullback in this EMA to just come down a bit, but I still feel like we're going to get a pullback into 6,200, which I am going to definitely trade the pullback. So as like I said in the previous trading view post that I've done, I am looking at that to short. Right now, we're getting a nice consolidation box. We can maybe form breakout, retest, and move down into these areas. But yeah, like I said, there on the 4 hour, we've got definitely room to come down. I can't really see this pair going much higher, just constantly climbing. It's been climbing for like over a week now. So once we can get this down, there's also this supply, basically supply and demand area. So basically it was resistance, now support. It also aligns with the two fib areas that we will look to take the next, impulse from. So with that impulse, like you say, if we can obviously get a trade from down here, there's a potential of over 250 pips, 270 to be precise if it goes up there. And then also, once we do close out of that area, we've got plenty of room to keep going. Obviously, we will be approaching the 200 moving average. And for me to fully confirm that we are on the next, you know, trend, basically climbing above, it would be once we close right above these levels here. If we can close above them over the coming weeks, then like you say, I expect AUD to just keep pushing higher before, obviously, well, you know, you'll get corrections, but definitely I'll expect this pair to keep climbing. So right now for the target would be to at least get a pullback this week, then over the coming weeks is to hit there and eventually break out of this area and keep going. So yeah, that's just a little breakdown on AUDUSD. It's the only one I want to cover right now because obviously it's the only pair I've gone through, but I'm just going to drop smaller individual videos on the YouTube at the moment instead of doing the big long breakdowns. So yeah, to keep updated, I will be dropping this on the Instagram as well. So I'm hoping to get this popping again, especially obviously with the isolation and things. Like, I hope everyone's keeping safe, and it's kind of giving you an opportunity to kind of go over things and, you know, improve your trading techniques, whatever, study more, learn more. So yeah, that's it for this video. Like I say, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll keep you updated on obviously how this plays out on Instagram, and the next YouTube video will be dropped shortly regarding other pairs. So yeah, thanks for watching, and yeah, good night.